The brain is flesh. To keep flesh healthy in the body, it needs to be irrigated. Poor, it's not heart health. I just want to be very clear. Poor vascular health. If your blood vessels going into your brain are clogged and not delivering all the blood flow they can, parts of your brain will start to die. Little swaths of it will start to die. I see it on MRIs in people as they get older. Micro strokes, white matter changes, these sort of like technical things. So the first thing is, if we're talking about brain health and mental health, you got to keep the flesh irrigated. Okay. How do you do that? A lot of other people can tell you that. Some people take cholesterol medicine, you exercise, you keep your blood vessels healthy. Same thing for heart blood vessels. Same thing applies for brain blood vessels. Then let's zoom in. What neurons look like? Okay, so we've gone from like the beautiful garden from a distance to now we're actually looking at one plant, one neuron. Neurons send chemicals and electricity all around. The speed with which that electricity travels is improved by having the tentacles of those jellyfish, if you will, wrapped in a certain fat. Insulation, just like your wires or cables that you're looking at are wrapped in something, not just to protect you, but sometimes also to improve the conduction, the speed. That's where fatty fish or omega-3s come in. The myelin sheath, that's what it's called, wrapping those tentacles or those neurons, the 100 billion, requires a fatty substance. And you can be vegan and get this. So fatty fish twice a week, like salmon or chia seeds and other things, will provide the nutrients. Okay. First, you got the irrigation to the garden. That's blood vessels, vascular health. Now you've got the nutrients that fertilize and keep not fertilize, actually, I want to say that help build the branches of those plants in your garden, those neurons in your garden. So that's a certain dietary thing you want to do. Mostly vegetarian with fatty fish, or if you're vegan, with something that supplements omega-3s. That's the second thing you want to do. Now, at the third thing you want to do is you want to fertilize that garden, that ecosystem in your skull. And the best fertilizer is exercise. So exercise, not that like something comes up from your muscles and lands in your brain. Your brain has its own pharmacy. When you exercise, it starts spraying all the brain, the neurons, with things like growth factors like BDNF. And so now you're globally tending to the garden. And then the fourth thing you want to do is the most important thing, is think and challenge yourself. If you get into habits and ruts and don't keep expanding the corners of your life and thought, what happens is parts of that garden become dormant. You don't need them. You can get home on the tube or on the freeway with just using a small part of the garden. Why would you engage at all? It's very inefficient. So you actually have to consciously, thought has to say, I want to try new things, learn new things. You don't have to get good at it, but the process of learning, of challenging yourself, changes the concentration and patterns of the chemicals that are being sprayed between those neurons. And to me, that's the most powerful thing, that thought is the ultimate tender cultivator of the human brain and the mind. And I can't tell you how your journey will go, whether you'll reflect or, take time to reflect, turn your attention inward, deep meditative breathing. I don't know how you'll put it all together, but I just want people to know that's how it is. And those are the skull contents, if you will. And I'll conclude with, to me, the understanding is the gift. The possibility is the gift. And now, if everybody has that in their mind, when they deploy it, when they rely upon it, is up to them. And that's what I've learned from my patients and from the science I've been working on in my own life journey.